What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel, Sports, Life and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective, and I'm here for the news. Here about 5 days ago, I made this video on Israel versus Hamas and the Palestinian people. And I asked the question, is this a false flag operation? Is this Israel's 9/11? And I said in that video 5 days ago, 100%. But I put a ledge on it. But in my heart, I knew that Israel and the United States / Western powers 100% knew that this was coming. And just in case you didn't get to watch this other video and you watching this one, I can tell you exactly why they let it happen. Because once and for all, they want to crush Hamas and they want to push the Palestinian people closer to the Egyptian border. And they're going to demolition everything in their way. They're going to crush it. And the reason why Hamas don't want the people to leave, one, because it helps them as human shields, but two, there's also another side to that. Once those people leave, a lot of times they're not coming back. It's like Hurricane Katrina. Most of those people never came back. And like here in America, when you get some place that's poor and destitute and looking bad, you can gentrify it. Small piece of gentrification. They've already pushed the Palestinian people damn near to the ocean. It's kind of like on the movie 300 when Leonidas had the Persians up against the shoreline of the rocks of the cliffs, and they just kept pushing and pushing until they just all fell into the water. And that's basically what's happening here. Now, obviously, these people who are here in Palestine are people who left over from the Ottoman Empire. Now, they displaced people out of this area. Now, after World War II in the late 1940s, Israel came in right after World War II and they declared, hey, we the original Jews and we're taking this land back. We're taking back Jerusalem. And, and they did that. But, when you do that, it's going to be a war forever, basically, especially in the Islamic world. When you have a base understanding of the geopolitical environment and what's going on in that area, you understand that this has to happen. This was always going to happen, and there was no way around it. I was talking to somebody at work. You can pick a side and say who you believe, this, that, and the third, but both sides think they have, a legitimate reason to fight. And, for the Palestinian people, they've been so subjugated at this point to where, they feel like they don't have nothing to lose. On the surface, United States and Israel, they want to say, we don't want to have, we don't want innocent people dying, and we don't want bombs dropped with men, women, and children. But at this point, I don't think they care. Not only do I don't think they care about that, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I'm alleging this. I don't even think they care about them hostages. The families do. Don't get me wrong. The families of the 100% they care, but the government of Israel are willing to sacrifice those people at this point. I believe that wholeheartedly. They're dropping bombs indiscriminately. You can't just drop bombs like that. They dropping bunker busters. I mean, I first heard of bunker busters was during the Afghanistan-Iraq war, because they had all them damn tunnels in Afghanistan. And then bunker busters go deep down underground, man. And obviously that's where they're going to be keeping the hostages at. And they're dropping the bombs left and right all day, every day. So, I'm going to be going over, a couple of these clips and basically proving that, I 100% knew what was coming. I made the video 5 days ago. And then 2 days later after that, CIA had warnings of increased Hamas activities. Am I YouTube's #1 couch detective? You goddamn skippy, I am. But as you can see, they knew. And when the United States told them, they told the United States, we know. And they said, well, what are we going to do? We for to crush them once and for all. But you have to be extremely careful with this, because now it's a war of not just fighting, but a war of propaganda. Because don't forget, you have Jordan and Syria and Iran and all these countries who also want to see the destruction of Israel. And then you have Hezbollah. And Hezbollah has a lot of influence throughout the Arab world, especially in that part of the Arab world. And they're a little bit more sophisticated, and they have a little bit more weapons, and they have a little bit more organization, and they have more money backing them. So, that's why the United States put those ships off the coast, because as good of a military that Israel has, they can't fight on too many fronts. They ain't got it like that. Well, let's take a look at this first clip. CIA had warnings of increased Hamas activities.
New York Times reporting tonight that the CIA in this country, of course, knew of a possible escalation. Here's James Longman on that part of the story tonight.
Tonight, new questions about whether U.S. intelligence was tracking increased threats from Hamas in the weeks before its attack on Israel. According to the New York Times, two CIA reports, including one issued just days before, warned about a potential escalation in rocket fire from Gaza.
Now, that's a lie. I'm not saying that they didn't know increased rocket fire. They knew the whole plan. I can stand on that. They knew the whole plan. It wasn't, we just think, there's going to be a few more rockets fired. No, they knew there was going to be an all-out assault. And Israel let it happen. They wanted it to happen. They're happy it happened. They want to go in there and crush these people once and for all. I'm telling y'all.
The routine analysis reportedly had no details about the scale and scope of the terror attack, including the new tactic, ground assault. Before this headline broke today, Defense Secretary Austin was asked during a stop in Israel what the U.S. knew before Saturday's bloodshed.
If we had known, or if we know of a pending attack against an ally, we would clearly inform them.
And he did. They did inform the ally, and the ally said, we already know. And they said, hey, well, this is what we're going to do. And they discussed the plan. And, and within that plan, they said, we're going to crush these people once and for all. Because Israel had 25 different defensive lapses across the board. Like it's impossible to have that many lapses at one time. You might have one here or there, but they were missing in action everywhere. That's impossible when you always on the verge of war, considering you're Israel surrounded by Islamic countries, and you're always in a tit for tat battle with Hamas and Hezbollah. So yeah, I'm not buying none of that. And neither should you.
A week after the unprecedented attack, Israeli forces are still hunting for Hamas terror cells in southern Israel. For the first time, we're seeing images from Israeli Navy commandos retaking a military outpost just hours after it was captured by terrorists on Saturday. This man dragged away, bloody and naked. Those Navy commandos can be heard shouting to Israeli soldiers who are being held captive by Hamas in a bunker there. We are coming, they say. That raid just hours after the massacre, one of at least 6 battles. There, some 60 Hamas terrorists were killed. Israeli forces were able to rescue 250 hostages. The injured rushed away by stretcher. But tonight, at least 100 more hostages remain in the hands of Hamas.
And will some of those hostages be saved? Absolutely. Some of them hostages will be saved. Some have already been tortured and killed, but some are being bombed by the Israeli government. There's no doubt about that.
And David, the first State Department charter flight carrying Americans out of Israel took off today. Thousands more Americans are due to get flights like these in the coming days. Plus, the US government is in talks with 3 US carriers about getting more flights out of Europe back to the United States to get more Americans home. David, James Longman, part of our incredible team here. Thank you all.
And like I said before, and I said in this last video I made, America has the greatest intelligence apparatus in the history of mankind. Israel has one of the top intelligence agencies in the world, combined with the UK and other European countries and Western powers in general. It's just impossible not to know. That's like somebody telling you, hey man, somebody walked up Mount Everest barefoot in the dead of winter. Get the hell out of here. No, that didn't happen. That is not true. It's impossible. Just like it's impossible for them to have no idea that this was coming, and they said they was training for a year. They have too many spies. They have too many drones. They have too much technology. They have these people basically in a concentration camp, glorified concentration camp. So, Let's take a look at this next clip. U.S. to rush military aid package for Israel. Do Israel need a military aid package from the United States? Absolutely not. But it's a way to funnel more money over to Israel because obviously the United States and Israel are in cahoots, have been in cahoots together for a very, very long time. Now, having the United States aircraft carriers over there to make sure Hezbollah and Hamas don't come together along with Iran and a few other countries, yes, I can see that. But you don't need to rush military aid package to Israel. Let's take a look at this clip. This is Chuck Schumer. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, I think Chuck Schumer is Jewish. Now, like I said before, are the Jews that are in Israel today, are they the original Jews of the Bible? Absolutely not. They are not. Look, when they came in late 1940, I think it was 46, if I'm not mistaken. Might have been somewhere 46, 49, somewhere in between there. But when they came in there and took over Jerusalem and the West Bank and all of that area of Israel, the Egyptian president said in Time magazine, this was a quote, "How did the Jews leave black and come back white?" You can find that in Time magazine. So that was his question. They don't see them as the original Jews. Not that they're not Jewish, because they are, but they are converts to the religion of Judaism. Let's take a look at Chuck Schumer.
On a trip to Tel Aviv with other U.S. lawmakers, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said the chamber would push through a military aid package ASAP to help Israel in its war against the militant Islamist group Hamas.
Say to Israel, America will stand with its ally Israel. So we will work with the Israeli government and the Biden administration to assemble the most generous package possible. And
You hear the word most, the most generous. We're going to get them as much money as we possibly can. Until somebody say, hey, that's way too much. They're going to give them the most they can, the most bombs, most money, most everything. And the thing is, that's already confusing. They're already doing that. So they're giving them even more. It's like giving a fat person a 20-piece chicken meal and then going to the donut shop and getting 12 packs of donuts. And it's a glutton of military aid.
people will ask, what about the House? We're not waiting for the House.
Schumer on Sunday said among Israel's requests are additional interceptors for its Iron Dome missile defense system, which has been operating nonstop, shooting down Hamas rockets from Gaza, and precision munitions.
The needs, of course, are quickly evolving over time.
He also said he urged Israeli leaders to assist with efficient humanitarian assistance.
And then that's where the propaganda comes in at. They said we're going to give efficient aid to the Palestinian people, but we're also going to help you bomb them into submission. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing at just how wacky some of this shit. Like they just sell. This is why propaganda can be so effective. Like if you're emotional and you pick a side, you can't hear the BS that they're selling you. God damn, they can sell water to a well, can't they? Oh my God, they can sell a leaf to a caterpillar. Look at this. Did you hear what he just said? Listen one more time.
The needs, of course, are quickly evolving over time.
He also said he urged Israeli leaders to assist with efficient humanitarian assistance while minimizing civilian casualties in Gaza.
Impossible.
The Biden administration has underscored that
I don't know if you noticed, the Gaza Strip is one of the most densely packed places on the planet. It's more densely packed on the Gaza Strip than New York City. That's how, and we know how densely packed New York City is, or San Francisco, these type of cities that's compact. That's how densely packed the Gaza Strip is. So saying that you're trying to, we don't want to kill civilians. They don't give a damn about killing civilians, but the propaganda machine has to tell you that they don't. Now, I'm not saying they just want to kill all the civilians, but they want to weaken them to a point to where they can't fight back. Period, point blank.
democracies like ours are stronger and more secure when we uphold the rule of law. We echo that to the Prime Minister of Israel and to every Israeli official we met. We told them that as well as military assistance, intelligence assistance, diplomatic assistance, we wanted humanitarian assistance. And I said to them, find the fastest, safest, and most efficient way to do so. We also told them it was really important, and it's difficult. We know it's difficult, but still we have to to minimize civilian casualties.
Also on Sunday, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said the Biden administration hopes to push a new weapons package for Israel and Ukraine through Congress.
And they threw Ukraine back. They didn't give Ukraine so much goddamn money. It's absurd. And let me tell y'all this. They gave all this money to the Ukraine and they're losing. So they giving all their money to we just taking all our tax dollars, giving it to a losing cause. And I said that shit when I made all the videos on the Ukraine and Russia from the very beginning when that war started. I said Russia's gonna fight this shit tooth and nail. They're never gonna give up. And the same goes for the Gaza Strip, the Palestinian people, Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran. They'll never stop until Israel has to use a nuke or Israel no longer exists. Either way, this fight will be a fight to the finish. You have to be very careful because the world is watching and they see the United States and Israel. Seem like they bombing the hell out of these people. Don't forget you have North Korea and South Korea. You have China and Taiwan, and you already have Russia and the Ukraine. So you have to be very careful, United States. That's why they had a propaganda machine out. In every country, and I'm not knocking the United States and Israel for using propaganda because every country has to indulge in propaganda because information is part of warfare, especially the dissemination of information. And if you can control the minds of people. So I understand the importance of it.
It will be significantly higher than $2 billion. But how any bill moves through Congress, currently without a speaker in the U.S. House of Representatives, is unclear.
You just heard what they said. They don't even have a speaker, so they don't even know how they're going to move that shit through. But for Israel and Ukraine, they will find a way. Unbelievable. I mean, you just never know. Let's take a look at this clip. 6-year-old killed in a hate crime stabbing. Now, this man could just be a white man, but he looks, kind of have a little Jewish nose on him a little bit. He has some Jewish features. Stabbed a 6-year-old boy and his mom. Let's take a look at the clip.
A horrific story is unfolding tonight as a war between Hamas and Israel appears to be fueling tensions here at home. A 71-year-old man charged with a hate crime after the fatal stabbing of a 6-year-old boy. His mother was also seriously injured.
You have to be a sick, sadistic person to stab a 6-year-old boy multiple times. I mean, this ain't his first time killing. I'm gonna tell you that right. To stab somebody, shooting somebody is terrible, and it's hard to do, but it's way harder to get right up on somebody and get the cutting and stabbing and sticking. That's a lot more difficult. You have to be a really sick individual, or your life has to really be in danger, or you have to be one of those serial killer types who like blood and gore.
Police say both were targeted by the suspect for being Muslim. Here's ABC's Alex Pashane.
Tonight, 6-year-old Wadia Al-Fayumi brutally stabbed to death. His mother in serious condition after an alleged hate crime believed to be motivated by the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. Sheriff's deputies say their landlord, 71-year-old Joseph Zuba, targeted his tenants inside their home simply because they were Muslim.
She said he knocked on the door and that he attempted to choke her and said, "You Muslims must die."
Deputies responded Saturday about 40 miles outside of Chicago in Plainfield Township, finding Hanan Shaheen and Al-Fayumi inside a bedroom in their home. Shaheen stabbed more than a dozen times, the boy with 26 stab wounds.
I mean, you have to be a sadistic. To stab a child 26 times, that is insane and disgusting and foul. And he need his old ass whipped before getting the electric chair.
Very silent knife with a 7-inch blade later found in his abdomen.
She ran into the bathroom and called 911. And by the time she came out, he had located and murdered her child, 6-year-old Wadia.
Wow.
Found by deputies sitting in the driveway. Late today, the boy's father lost for words through a translator, only asking for one thing:
to bring accountability for his life taken too soon.
Lindsay, tonight that mother is expected to survive. Zuba faces multiple counts, including first-degree murder and hate crime charges. Lindsay.
Alex, thank you.
Extremely unfortunate, you guys. Just terrible. Young boy killed like that. Horrific way. Made this guy ride in hell, But that's the world we stay in. We stay in a sadistic world. This is the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. This is Babylon. This ain't the country that people think it once was. And, we all can see that America's circling the drain. And like I said about this Palestinian and Hamas Israel war with Hezbollah and Iran, all of this stuff is meant to be. And it has to happen. As it's the end of the world, I don't know, but we know this is where it's going. This is how it's going to start for sure. But can cooler heads prevail over time? I don't know. I don't think Israel's going to back off of this. That's why this event, they call it their 9/11, because remember, after 9/11, America fought its longest war in the history of the United States of America, which was Afghanistan. Over 20 years. So if they call this their 9/11, this will not end quickly and won't be over shortly. And will this escalate? Will this escalate? 100%. I mean, there's always a chance. Well, let me say 99.9%. I don't want to use the 100 speaking absolutes, but 99% chance this is going to escalate, and other countries and other groups are going to get involved. And don't be surprised if you don't see Al Qaeda pop up out of nowhere, or ISIS, or the old players are out of nowhere. But usually Hamas and Lebanon. I mean Hamas and what's the other one? Hezbollah. Those two groups, that's their little area. So we'll see how it all plays out. Israel, United States got to be on their toes. They got to keep this propaganda machine going. I don't know how long it's going to last. Eventually, people will start turning on Israel and the United States because you have complete control of the area. You can bomb nonstop 24 hours a day, and it'll get to a point to where it just look like you just bullying on people. And, who knows when Hamas is done? We don't know. They can only tell us, hey, Hamas is still up and running now. All of a sudden, Hamas has been broken for fucking 6 months, and they still over there dropping bombs. But we'll see how it all plays out, you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been Sports, Life and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective. I'm here for the news. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I just took your ass on Hezbollah versus Palestinian versus Israel. Ride. Peace.